Sure.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? I am back. We're designing more spells for stacks. Isn't that so silly and goofy? I should add music because music's good, I hear. Music is fun. Music is a good vibey time.
It might help deal with the yard work happening in the background of my audio too.
So hello. Yesterday, if you were here, we designed some spells for stacks, which was a good time, I think. I think we all had a good time doing that for those that were present. It was silly. It was goofy. Okay, Discord has sent out the live notification. That's good. Just checking. We never know what shenanigans it could be up to. What bullshit it could be ensuing upon us.
Oh my god, Discord is truly the bane of my existence. I swear to god, nothing ever goes right. Ever.
Ever?
That stupid fucking app. No, especially being in Australia, it's just like, fuck you specifically.
Holy shit, I hear voices. Oh, it's my headphones? Yes, we're starting now. Hello. Brookathan.
Brookathan?
That's your name. Huh?
Well, thank you.
Why is this the way it is? Huh?
Skill issue?
Honestly, maybe. You're staring into the abyss, and the abyss stared back briefly. Okay, we got Brooke.
Did it want something?
Hello, say hi to Brooke, everybody. They're here. Woo! I just need to make sure.
Hello.
There we go. Okay, they're slightly.
Everybody except you specifically.
Well, that's fucking rude, isn't it?
I mean, they thought rude things about my mum.
Damn. Okay, there we're lined up. My God. Voice
She was
call
homophobic.
section. I know that was pretty spooky, scary stuff. Hi, hello.
What was happening?
Oh,
What? I have no idea. I did not follow any of that.
Well, it was I just like there was just like a lot of camera happenings going on all at once.
Oh, I see.
Anyway,
I see.
Hello, everyone. Say hello to the other designer of this game, Brooklyn Tuesday.
Oh, that's a questionable title to be giving me. When was the last time I touched this game?
Maybe I've been doing a lot of the heavy lifting. That does not diminish what you have done, okay?
Okay. I appreciate it.
We are here now, anyway. Today, we are going to be making more spells, because guess what games need? Options and abilities, and that's what spells are. So, yesterday, we made some spells, as well as I reiterated some of the old ones. I'm going to reiterate them for Brooke, because this might be the first time she's seeing them. So,
Yes, because I have a real job, and I have to do it sometimes.
I hear her so much more clearly. In what way? Than me? Do you hear her? Is she louder than me? Is that what you're saying? Brooke!
What? You do this all the time. There is something about your audio specifically that is an issue.
What if... Just talk?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Louder.
5,
How
6,
you...
7,
As
8,
if you're mad at me.
9, 10. The first sentence that came into my mind involved doxing your name, and then I had to catch myself. So, I don't want to do that. Offbeat outlaw.
There you go. Okay, we should be all equal. Anyway, yesterday, we went over some spells. We made some new spells. We have... From yesterday, we had a spell called Arcane Deflection. Arcane Deflection. This is building out our defensive suite. We can like make these all into little sections. So this is the first spell in our defensive suite. Arcane Deflection. It's a one action point, one arcane, range of self, duration until the start of your next upkeep. It leveled itself out. That's called I leveled it out. I went in there and changed the audio. Anyway, on your turn, surround yourself with magical energy capable of deflecting and redirecting attacks. Roll your spellcasting secondary dice and add the number rolled to your evasion. If you're subjected to an effect that forces you to make a dexterity or strength save, you may add the additional secondary dice to the save. Additionally, creatures that target you with attacks must remove 1 secondary dice from their roll when targeting you. And you can upscale it as well. To upscale, you must spend 3 additional arcane per upscale. You may add an additional secondary dice to your evasion. Strength and dex saves are bolstered by the same amount. Creatures that target you must remove 1 additional secondary dice from their attack per upscale.
Nice.
So that is the first in our defensive suite. This allows, basically from the playtests, Hex Dancers were very much glass cannons, but they were very fragile.
My babies.
So
my babies.
This helps prevent them.
That's the intention.
Yeah.
Make them explode.
Yeah, this is to help prevent them from getting exploded by crits as easily, while also avoiding more damage, because they did die very easily. Dancer Step. From the Hex Dancer's playbook. It's another 1 action point, 1 arcane. Being light on your feet is a gift, but be ready when the other foot drops. Float an inch off the ground and begin to tumble and dance through the air. You may add half your evasion to your armor while you remain mobile. If your speed is reduced to 0, the spell ends. So these spells are to be used in conjunction with one another. Use Arcane Deflection and Dancer Step if you want to, if you're going up against opponents who are hitting very hard and rapidly, you know? Helps prevent people from hitting you more often, and it gives you more armor. So these are spells to help buff the bulk of spellcasters, because they are going to be glass. They are glass. They simply do not have as many hit points. Illusory Fake. This is a 2 action point trigger ability, and this is the notation that I'm working with. What do you think of this? As like just being like, I don't know if you're noticing this while you're doing your mascara, but I put trigger ability in the time.
What's the notation?
Like in brackets and like the time thing.
Okay, right, yeah. I'm not looking at the document right now, so
Okay.
no, I didn't notice that.
That one retort to my sass is me hooked. Here we go. Valid. An ally, so the trigger is an ally is hit with an attack. The range is 60 feet, the duration instant. Target an ally who has been attacked and weave an illusory duplicate of them. The attack roll becomes a 50-50. So if someone gets hit, you can turn the roll
into
into
it's like a nerfed version of Mirror Image.
Holy shit! Is that a Bandit Gang member? This is the first Bandit Gang member, everybody! Officially!
What does that
You can become a member of my YouTube channel now.
Oh, okay.
Look at that! Good job, Banana. You now get to see my videos 24 hours early on my fucking... on the YouTube. Okay. Next. Spellbind. You've seen this spell before, but just to reiterate, it's got 3 modes that you can cast it on. Violence, 3 threads pierce the target, dealing 1d8 magical damage each. For each hit, apply a stack of wounds. Upscaling increases the number of dice in damage each thread deals and the number of wounds they receive by 1. Defensive. 1 thread pierces the target, dealing 1d4 magical damage. For each hit, reduce the target's movement by 10 feet. Additionally, apply a stack of Restricted. Restricted reduces the number of action points the creature recovers at the start of their turn to a minimum of 1. Upscaling increases the number of threads by 1. And then Proactive. Send forth 3 threads to pierce the target, 1d6 damage per thread. For each hit, apply a stack of Hindered. Hindered forces the target to roll a number of negative d4 secondary dice at the start of the turn and subtract that number from all ability checks, saves, and rolls.
A number of those dice.
Yeah, Hindered is just describing it. So, like, you roll...
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's
it's rough.
awful.
Hey, spellcasters have it.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's not so bad. As long as it's in, like, my kit.
As long as you get to use it.
Yeah. It makes it okay.
Yeah. Next, Lightning Bolt. 2 action points, 1 arcane, 120 feet instant. Shoot a bolt of lightning at a target. Roll to hit. On hit, deal 3d8 damage and roll a d4. That many creatures within 30 feet must make an agility save. On fail, the creatures take full damage. On success, half. So this is a DPS kind of random jumpy ability.
Okay.
Additional arcane points to up the damage. If you upscale by 5 or more, increase the damage dice to d12s. So once you get to higher levels, this spell gets stronger and you can start upscaling it more and more.
Okay.
Arcane Wallop. 2 action points, 1 arcane instant. Coat a limb with magical energy and make an attack with that limb as part of the action. Add 4d8 in magical damage to the attack. You may add the extra d8s to the attack roll instead of the damage roll in any combination. Target hit by this attack must make a strength saving throw or be afflicted with stacks of disruption equal to 2 times the scale of the spell. So,
The scale of the spell.
so the scale refers to like whether or not it's upscaled. At 1, so currently this is a first level spell, and if you upscale it by 1, the scale is now 2. If you upscale it by 3, it is now a 3rd scale.
That's effectively the spell's level.
Yeah, but you know how like upscaling can have variable costs depending on the spell?
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So for every 2 AP, not arcane, not action points. Arcane, increase the damage by 48. So if you spend an extra 2 arcane points in this, it ups the scale.
Okay.
I'm back and I'm still on about that spell that turns damage into stacks. I think it would just be badass. I agree, but that's definitely a higher level spell, Jacob Sever. Definitely a higher level spell. Time Dial. This one chat actually helped make. Time, 2 action points, cost 1 arcane, range self, concentration, and duration is a concentration and an hour. Warp reality around yourself for the duration. You gain a stack of pause. With a stack of pause, all other stacks cannot go up or down. This also means you cannot gain stacks. You have the stack as long as you maintain concentration on the spell. Additionally, while you have the stack of pause, there are many things that won't affect you. Damage is converted into stacks of proxy that will be applied once the spell ends. Additionally, your state cannot be changed and you cannot die. Once concentration ends, apply all stacks of proxy.
What was the proxy again?
So remember wait, if I'm the first outlet, does that put a bounty on my head? Yes, you are bountied now. Proxy, that was the stacks condition where they don't do anything, but as soon as you receive your next stack, all your stacks of proxy become that stack.
Okay.
That was the idea
Right.
behind them.
Yeah. That's really cool. I like that. Did we discuss that at some point? It sounds familiar.
Maybe chat made this one, like they gave the idea for it. Maybe we've just batted ideas about it before, like between us,
Oh.
and I can't
That's
remember
fair.
them specifically.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Arcane Combo. Coat a limb in magical energy. Weapons you use with that limb deal an extra 2d8 damage. You may choose to add the damage bonus to the attack roll instead in any combination. If you choose to coat a limb without a weapon, you may choose to attack with that limb for a single action point. If you have the extra attack feature, the spell adds an additional attack to that action. For 5 arcane, you may make an additional attack as part of your attack action up to a maximum of 3 extra gained from this spell. So if you spend 15 arcane, you upscale it 3 times, you get 3 additional attacks.
Okay.
Yeah. Shape Goo. This is another chat one. 2 action points, 1 arcane, range 30 feet, circle 15 feet, duration, concentration 10 minutes. Choose a viscous liquid that isn't water that you can see within range. You may now shape it as you please and apply the following in any combination for the duration. If there's no goo in range, you create the goo yourself, but you may only use the sticky feature. Harden. You may harden the goo. The goo has the hardness of a block of cheese. Be careful. Shape. You may make shapes with the goo, including complicated things like stairs and cannons. Sticky. The goo gains the properties of glue. Creatures caught in the goo must make a strength save. On fail, they gain 1 stack of restricted and 1 stack of hindered. Upkeep. If you're using the sticky feature, the number of stacks applied increases by 1 on your upkeep.
You know the thing that gets me about
What?
like the first drafts of spells
What?
is the way that any word will be used to represent the thing. Do you remember we've had a conversation about choosing nouns that
Yes.
feel thematically appropriate? The thing that's getting me here is goo.
Yeah.
I'm like, we couldn't have called it like Ichor or something. We couldn't have called it.
Well, we have Acre
Okay.
Creep already. We have the goo spell. Chat wanted goo.
Okay.
They were like adamant. I was resistant. I was the one resisting. I was like, chat, we
Yeah.
can't just have a spell that makes and shapes goo. That's not definitive enough.
Well, no, you can have a spell that does that. I'm more taking issue with the word goo. Like, I'm pushing back against using that in any kind of final
we can
capacity
change it.
because it does not fulfill a thematic
What do you
naming.
mean that goo doesn't fulfill your fantasy? It's clearly fantastical.
I'm gonna let you sit with that.
LaSouth, why are you spamming emotes? Don't do that. That's weird. LaSouth moment. Anyway. Final spell. This is a healing spell. Grant Vigor. Time 1 AP. Cost 1 arcane. 60 feet. Instant. Choose a creature within range. Roll 1d8 plus a secondary dice and heal them for that amount. Upscale. 5 arcane. Apply secondary dice stacks of regen as well. So stacks of regen are, you roll them on your upkeep, you heal that much, and then you have them until you reach 1.
I like that.
And once you're at 1, they disappear to, once you roll them at 1, they disappear to 0. So
I like that. That feels like the potion in Slay the Spire, the regen potion that you drink and then you get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like that.
The
I like that a
warrior,
lot.
the warrior proto class can give themselves regen stacks as well, and in the playtest that I did, it was very important that existed because it helped them keep pace with the damage stacks that they had because they got because there was no cleanse yet, they got high very quickly. So
I think that's the kind of thing that should be difficult to get rid of. Like, if an enemy is trying to cleanse it from you, I think that should be kind of hard to get rid of.
Getting rid of...
Because I think that feels good.
Yeah, I think getting rid of other people's stacks, especially offensively, is hard, I think. I think that's not a very common thing to do. If someone has a positive stack on themselves, Getting rid of your own stacks, I think we've made it reasonably easier, I think, now. Because we have the cleanse action that people can take, but yeah. And now we're on level 2, which is everything.
Real quick though, where is this document? Because I'm looking at like our Google.
So go to Stacks Game Design, and then you made the magic folder, and then go to Spell List Draft 1, and this is the document.
Oh, I just assumed it'd be a spell list that like. It says that I'm the owner. I just assumed that you would have made the document.
No, this is the document you made. I've just been adding to it because we said that we'd start consolidating things. Don't get rid of my baby gooey boy. Drake, we may just need to change it from goo. My guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the name.
It's taking me a bit of catch up, but I'm liking the sound of things so far. That's because Banana Nana. Have you seen the video that I made about a month or two ago talking about the system itself? It gives a rundown of everything. I think it's called the best new system ever. I think that's what I called it because I tried my best to clickbait. I'm not very good at clickbait, I'm being honest here. Now we're on to level 2 spells as well as level 1 spells. But this is basically these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 10 spells, I think, make out the basis of the meta for spellcasters, with like room for like some additions. Like there aren't any distinct buff spells, but I think this makes out the basis for what I think we had discussed for spells and like giving like room for growth. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I like it.
So onto level 2 spells and level 1 spells. Chat, you are allowed to give input as to spells you would like to see in this game. Remember, Shape Goo and Time Dial were chat suggestions that got added. So not every suggestion you make will be added, but some of them will be. Like a mass.
Also, Offbeat's nicer to you guys than I am.
Yeah, you're my chat, so I have to coddle you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you, no, I don't like your ideas. They might be good. They might be good.
What about like a mass cleanse? A mask just removes stacks. I think a mass cleanse could be interesting. I think that's a pretty high level spell.
I think that's a high level spell. A mass cleanse, like that's a...
That's higher than I think we're currently at. That's like that's like level 5.
From 5th plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think 5 sounds like a good idea because it sounds like a greater restoration almost.
Yeah, I was just about to say it sits in that tier of greater restoration.
Shape goo
But
includes
even
the
creative
poop.
restoration
Yes, it does.
is single target.
Yeah, I think mass cleanse. I feel like you could have like greater cleanse, which removes all stacks on a target, and then you can upscale it to include everybody else.
All negative stacks.
Yeah, all negative
Yeah.
stacks. And I
agree.
Yeah, other people removal I think is going to start at like level 3. I don't think we're quite there yet. Let's look to build out level 2. I think for level 2, and I'm just talking out loud, I imagine this is still more bread and butter stuff, but now we're getting into more of like the more battlefield control, because a lot of the damage is going to come from your lower level stuff that you upscale. I think that this I'm more looking for interesting ways to control the battlefield, interesting ways to apply stacks, outside combat silly stuff. I think that's
You
more...
about to read Eco Creep to me?
I know you made this spell. You made
Oh
this.
yeah, I was about to be like you wait a second.
Yeah.
Are you pitching this back to me?
No. I'm saying that this is what I'm looking for to alert chat as well as you to be like where I'm at.
I get you.
It's
I thought you were trying to establish this so that you could then read the spell to me, and I was getting a bit sus for a sec. I was like, okay, I know that I've been busy lately, but that doesn't mean I haven't done anything.
I like.
Okay.
Maybe like a
Sorry,
spell
go on.
that forces people to move in a specific direction, like the Eldritch Blast Invocations in D&D. I like a pushing spell.
Oh my gosh, maybe we should read Eco Creep.
I wonder. Okay,
It's not
let's.
the same thing. It's
Yeah.
not the same thing, but it does do just that.
Oh my God, Reaver was given a outlaw member. Holy shit! Damn, that's crazy.
Gosh, you guys.
Banana.
People support this man?
I know they support me. Thank
Willingly?
you. Thank you, Banana. Now that I actually have people, I have to start I've got to start uploading the videos for you guys so you can see them early, like my patrons.
You gotta like do your job?
That's fucking stupid. Control the battlefield isn't as simple as AoE and walls. Strong peasants with a limited range is field control. That is also true, but I think that's more geared towards... That to me sounds more like our marshals in this game. Our marshals are like that strong field presence, limited range. Like the tanks are terrifying. The tank is a horrifying class in this game right now.
Unlike in Overwatch.
Unlike in Overwatch, thankfully. We got Ichor Creep. 2 action points, 2 arcane, range 100 feet, shape 15-foot radius. I do want to put in here, like, a circle. I think we should put, like, the shape itself. Just because,
Okay.
just to help.
Well, I know what radius applies to, but...
I mean, we haven't defined exactly how we're keeping track of our grids yet. So we should...
That's true.
If we're doing a square grid, a circle and a square are the same. So we should define what they are at least. Choose an origin point you can see within range. Thick black ichor bubbles and oozes, spreading into the spaces around the spell's origin. Each creature in the affected area must make an agility saving throw. Upon failing, you become stuck in the ichor. Each round, those caught are dragged 20 feet towards its center, unless otherwise directed. On a success, the affected area is treated as difficult terrain, but you are not restrained. Affected creatures may make a strength saving throw at the end of their turn to break free. Upkeep. The perimeter of the effect expands by 5 feet every round to a maximum of a 30-foot radius. The perimeter, or do you mean the radius? Caster may
Sure.
perimeter is the
You
outside.
can.
So, caster may direct the ichor drags those trapped inside, or may choose to fix them in place. So what do I get if I become a member? Echo the Mythical, if you become a member, you can use fancy emotes, and you get a badge. And if you're a member for long enough, you get a gold badge. Right now, Banana's got that bronze badge. Banana's a junior deputy, but you can get a gold badge? But in all honesty, if you become a patron, there isn't much else extra. If you're already a patron, there's not much else extra. You can become a member or a patron, in my opinion, but if you want to do both, you are welcome to. Either way, Ichor Creep, this is sort of like what we're looking for in terms of second level spells. A bit more control focused, a bit more, but also like kind of silly. I like a spell using spikes. Spike spell.
You want a spike spell?
I'm reading chat.
Someone in chat wants a spike.
Chat wanted a spike
okay.
spell. Chat wants a spike spell. What do we think about that?
I can add a spike spell.
A spike spell. Okay. What if we make...
We just putting spike growth into this?
It's a good spell.
Is that what's happening?
We might be putting spike growth.
Did chat just ask for spike growth?
They may have just asked for chat. Did you ask for spike growth?
Second level spell.
Ring of Frost. Creature walks over the line and becomes paralyzed if they fail a strength save, so marshals aren't hard walled by it. We don't really have a paralysis.
I don't think instant paralysis. I think that gradual paralysis makes way more sense. Like where you slow.
Yeah.
Like you lose half your speed, then you can't move at all, but you can still like take actions and things, and then like fully paralyzed. I think that it's at least gives you a chance to do something about it.
What if we make? I'm kind of stuck on the spike growth idea.
You want spike growth in the game?
Kinda. I'm trying to think of what if we give it like a shapeable spikes of some kind, so you can like change shape spikes or something. I don't know, but it's like you can make like a circle.
What's the intention behind making it shapeable?
The intention is so that if you're using it in AoE, you set up an area and that kind of fucks with the battlefield. But I think if you can choose to maybe make it like a line, then you can have a wall, or like you can make it so that like it fits down a corridor and that you don't have any excess shape. So I think it's more just like to change up its use cases, as well as like that's what I'm thinking.
All right, yeah. So you could give it a couple of different shapes.
I miss gravity wells. Oh, we should get gravity magic. There's no gravity magic really in D&D other than like reverse gravity and then Matt Mercer stuff, but I don't
Zarya ult into a spell.
Yeah.
You were thinking a lot about that. I felt like I thought like that was an easy ad.
I think my brain is going. I'm going like, is that like where would I put that? It was like where would I put that in the level scaling? Like how strong is it? Because Zarya's ult is good for Zarya, but I feel like it's kind of weak. If that makes sense. It feels kind of.
Well, if it draws a bunch of things together, then it pulls them into AoE.
True, and it could pull them across them spikes. Okay, let's make the spike spell first. Oh, we can make an upkeep feature where the spikes get more sticky and get more pokey. One sec,
I think that for low level spells like that, if you are going to have some sort of upkeep thing or some sort of like it gets worse over time, we should consider making that cost an action point. Like the thing that, not always, not with every spell. I don't think it's necessary all the time, but just as the lower level ones, it might be worth like giving it.
Maybe like the ones, our like rule is if it deals damage as like just like a general sort of idea.
Something like that, maybe.
Maybe. Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble highlighting. Where's my circle mouse? I'm much better at using this better.
I like the gravity well thing though.
I like a gravity well too.
Sounds like a fun idea.
I think making gravity magic more ubiquitous, I think, is a good idea.
I feel like there's room to make the gravity well thing fit somewhere around static ripple, which is level 4. If we added some extra effects, the way that static ripple is treated, we could do it lower. If we don't want to add extra effects, we can make it lower. But the way that static ripple works, I think, with the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, plus upkeep, plus upscale, would be a direction.
Okay. Time. 2 action points. Cost. 2 arcane. Ooh, 2 arcane. Range. 100 feet sounds good.
Reading your chat's terrible puns.
Oh God, what are you guys doing?
I don't think you know the gravity of what you're making.
The more customization you have, the worse the balance is to balance. Oh, don't I know, Echo? Don't I know, Echo? Echo's also making their own system. They've been making a lot of cool stuff for their stuff. Their system's called the Warforger. I think that name is really cool. We do need to one day come up with a better name for our system than Stacks.
We do. We do.
We really do,
It would be nice if we had had it from the get-go, but we don't. Stacks, it just became the nickname because that's the mechanic it all started on.
Yeah. Circle. Shape.
I also like being able to switch the direction of gravity, even from low levels, like put it on, like change it so that you can walk on walls and things.
15-foot radius.
Very Kaladin Stormblessed.
Or 10-foot by. Because if it's 15 feet, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 across. 6 by 6. Times 5 times 6 times 5. 5. 10-foot by 90-foot line. So the same area is covered either way. Sax is a solid 8 or 9 TTRPG game. TTRPG name. It is good. It's just it's too common. It's like we say Stacks. What are we talking about? The game, the condition system, or any fucking thing else? Stacks is a good name.
I have a thought that we're gonna end up sticking with Stacks because we call it this so much. Like I feel like everything else is gonna feel wrong when we get to a point of naming this.
Don't say that. Okay. Choose and see within range. Thorny, twisting, roots, and gnarls.
With a name like Stacks, there has to be a pancake mechanic somewhere.
Stop.
It would be kind of good though.
Pancake spell?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I have become tangled. Become vicious.
Choose an origin point you can see within range. Thorny, twisting, roots, and gnarls of earth spikes.
Which is spikes.
Gnarls of earth?
A gnarl?
Gnarled earth?
You can have a gnarl of something. It's like
Downright.
Okay. Well, my apologies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My apologies. For every 5 feet of space a creature moves or is moved, they receive how much damage?
What's the standard for a second level? Maybe like 2d6? 1d6? What's the average hit points that we have at this point?
At this point, the average is anywhere from like 30 to 120, depending on your class and how much you put into fortitude. Tanks have like about 100 and something, or they're beginning to get there.
Wait, at level 2?
Oh no, wait. At level 3 they get there. I think tanks have like 80 at this point.
At level 3?
They needed it.
What are we doing?
We're making a hilarious game. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I no longer understand the maths of this game. I think that's the issue. I can't pick numbers for you here because I have completely lost track of how the math scales.
Okay. Do you want to go over the math a little bit? Just to get the health in your head?
Maybe?
Okay. Well,
We don't have to. You can just pick numbers and I'll accept it and then we can go over it another time because I think that'll be boring.
Chat, what do we think? You guys discuss and Brooke can get a vibe from you guys. I think that because spike growth in the game is every feat of movement you on average take a point of damage in D&D. So I think that kind of makes sense for this as well.
Yes said, I've always liked the concept of balancing summoning stuff with sacrificing a certain amount of caster HP. Makes the user rely on the summons to tank a little more and doesn't outshine others. I think that kind of thing is going to be tied more specifically to essence spells and essence magic, the game, because that's more about sacrificing something to get something back. But I do agree. Like, while I cannot speak on this.
Guys, I gave you something to talk about. Talk about the thing I said.
Sometimes I start reading comments and then like realize partway through that I haven't read them yet. Does that make sense? Like I start speaking them out loud, realizing I haven't mentally vetted them. I'm like, I could be reading some nonsense. Okay.
What
How do
if
we feel
What if for every 5 feet of space they are moved or move, they receive like a d6 of they receive a wound, a stack of wounds.
Ooh, I like that. D5 or D6?
Wounds are d6, so they just receive 1 wound per 5 feet that they are moved or move. So mathematically, it's slightly less damage, but like you can get the shit kicked out of you with wounds.
That makes sense. Also, give me 1 sec. One of my cats wants to come in really badly. And I need
Okay.
I'm being told off.
What if every time they move, they have to make a save or get pulled back as well? I don't know if I want them to get pulled back, because
yeah, you don't want it doing too many things.
Yeah.
Also, do I still have the buzzing?
Speak.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Stop.
10, 11, 12.
You do, but it's not as noticeable.
I have no idea what it is then, because I'm pretty sure they stopped the yard work.
It's some sort of ambient white noise that's picking up from your room. I don't know where it is though. Could be.
Yeah, I have no
could be.
idea.
Would the wound stacks resolve at the end of turn? So wound stacks, how wounds resolve, is whenever the creature afflicted with wounds takes an action, or does an or like completes an action. Completing an action defined by you successfully spend your action points, and then the thing may or may not happen. You are given the wounds.
Okay, so this is a 2nd level spell.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 ways that we can handle this. One, and I think that the answer to this depends entirely on how the maths turns out, how many hit points people have, like how this feels scaled either way. 1, you gain stacks of wounds for moving through, as you were saying. 2, you take like 1d6 of damage for every, let's say, 5 feet of movement through it, and then an additional 1d6 for every time you spend action points whilst in the area. So then as soon as you're out of it, you're out. Because the idea being that like the spikes are everywhere and like you're trying to cast a spell and you're just getting scratched up as you're casting the spell and moving. I think that this version is more nerfed, like it's more low-key. So depending on how the numbers are scaling and working out, this version is the like
I see what you're saying.
less intense version.
I think. Okay, let's think about the use cases for this in a scenario. Let's say the two scenarios you can use this are a circle and a line. If you do this in a circle, people get dragged into it maybe by someone else casting Ichor Creep. They get pulled into it, they're dragged across it, they're given they're given 3 wounds as they're dragged into the center. They're given 3 wounds again as they try to leave. As they try to leave. Maybe they get stuck in it even further. They now have about 7 wounds. They take the cleanse action. That's 2 action points and some nerve, and now they're completely cleansed of those because those are simply not enough wounds to be uncleansable at that point in time.
So this is also sort of what I'm saying in terms of like how it scales against the rest of everything as well, right? Because stacks that are staying on you, those can be cleansed. Damage that's being taken for doing anything inside an area, that's not being cleansed. Make sense?
Yeah, but damage can be shrugged off with armor is another thing. Wounds cannot be. Wounds go through armor. So, I'm just talking through. I think I kind of like it being wounds because it makes the matchup for spellcasters v non-spellcasters a bit stronger. Because right now spellcasters are unfortunately a bit weak due to the fact that they need more tools to deal with different scenarios.
Due to the fact that you are the one who's been working on the game.
Due to the fact that, yes, I have made martials good and strong, but spellcasters are a bit anemic right now. They don't have spells. And I think that they need ways...
It's okay, chat. This is why Offbeat asked me here. Because I won't stand
you
for
to
this.
get here.
This spellcaster slander, this hatred, this spellcaster discrimination.
Yeah. I think that at best case scenario, they don't get rid of their wounds, they receive the damage. Worst case scenario, they cleanse it, they waste 2 action points, they only have 3 left. That means that they can't, that if they want to get any advantage this turn, they can't use their trigger abilities, which means they're more vulnerable the next turn. I kind of like it, like dealing stacks. Marshals are good. Marshals are fucking awesome. They're so good in this game. Spellcasters need a bit of help, so that's what we're doing.
I refuse to let spellcasters suck.
Yes. So I think this is, I kind of like it dealing stacks, but with the knowledge that if spellcasters are in their buff territory, okay? They're in their buff era. We need to buff them up.
Okay.
Oh, there's a first
This gravity well thing, do we want to make it level 3 for now?
If we make it level 3, it should deal damage and apply stacks, but sure.
Well, I mean, do all level 3 spells have to deal damage and apply stacks, though? I don't think so.
Or it's got to be very,
or
it's got to be very good at manipulating people and moving people around.
Yeah, I think that being able to drag people around is pretty good.
Okay, maybe I'm not under. Okay, describe it to me. What do you say? Pitch it.
Well, I thought that was what we were about to do.
Okay,
But
I was not on the same page.
Like...
Get me on the same page. I'm on the previous chapter. Catch me up.
Yeah. No, so I thought that we were going to design the spell now and maybe put it at a level 3 because I think vibes-wise, I feel like something like this could be at a level 3, but you know,
Okay, let's do that.
Like the slow spell is at level 3, and so I feel like this kind of sits in a similar tier to that kind of battlefield control.
Do we want to maybe make it apply some sort of stack that is control focused? Maybe like a restricted or a hindered?
I was thinking, have your gravity well, and then like its initial burst pulls people within a certain range in, and then maybe for an action point on your turn, or 2 action points on your turn, you can reach out, extend the reach, and grab specific targets and pull them in.
Pick any number of targets and pull them back in?
Maybe any number. Maybe we have to limit it. I don't know. I'd have to see that, or like how effective that felt.
I am currently in my spellcasters need to be stronger era, so I'm fine with it doing any number.
Okay.
Spellcasters are currently not great, so we need a bit more. What if
the way that I'm viewing this within the context of the game is that you are effectively pulling your enemies all into the one spot, which makes them more vulnerable to AoE attacks. And also, if we're gonna have like a spell skimmer throwing up a window that downcasts enemy spells and upcasts your spells, then they're all lined up in a way that all of their abilities have to go through this thing, and so now they just are stuck.
Okay, what if I like that. What if we give them something that makes it harder for them to leave that bunched up grouping? Because they'll just, so maybe we can give them a stack that maybe.
Well, yeah. There's
Okay,
Sorry, I thought that was implied. I thought that was.
It wasn't. Glad we're on the same page. Glad we're all here now. I was.
It's Zarya ult. I was like, yeah, I was gonna hold them there.
Yeah, what does that mean though?
You know that what Zarya ult does?
Okay, so they're stuck there. Like they can't move. They're complete.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Their movement speed is reduced to 0. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. You were just saying it pulls them in, and then something.
I felt like it was obvious. Why can't you read my mind?
Oh, jeez. I wonder. 2 action points. Cost 3. Arcane. Range. 100 feet seems to be what we're working with, so we're gonna stick with it. Shape. How big do you want this range to be initially? 20 feet radius?
I said 30.
30
Wait,
foot
are we working in meters or are we working in feet?
We're working in feet right now, but we can swap to meters at a later date.
I think that Baldur's Gate 3 proved that we can use meters.
So 10 meters? Okay. I will put... You do realize that this means we're gonna have to convert all of these at some point, right? Okay.
Do you remember when we first had this conversation and I went, oh, I don't know if a D&D audience is gonna be able to deal with meters change. It's gonna be too annoying and too hard. Maybe we just make it, and maybe it still is too annoying and too hard. Maybe the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 uses it is okay because it's a video game and it does all the work for you. Who knows? But then you just do 1 meter by 1 meter squares.
I think people are
Which
smart.
is not the same as 5 feet, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think 15 feet? Chat's saying 15 feet. So a 30-foot radius, a 30-foot diameter, 15... 30 feet is quite a lot. But I think I'm fine with it being 20.
Well, here's... Okay.
30 feet's quite big.
Bob spellcasters.
Yeah, I didn't say give them a nuclear bomb.
Why not?
Concentration.
Wait, I need to clarify. I was thinking 30 foot all the way across.
Oh, then that is 15-foot radius.
Yeah. If I said radius, that was my bad. I was thinking 30 foot across for the circle. Okay. But 20 feet works. 20 feet works.
No.
No.
Nar.
Offbeat.
Offbeat.
Offbeat. Oh my god.
Okay, gravity well. The range is gonna grow on your upkeep, so I think that's fine.
Fine. Because, well, okay, here is why I think, upon second thought, that maybe this is not the best idea. Because an AoE spell is already probably going to be able to hit everyone in that range. And we want this to group people up.
It's a good point. It's forced movement, though, which is always more powerful than people think. Hmm.
20 feet? 20-foot radius?
How about this? 30-foot radius. On success, 30-foot radius is bigger than what you said.
I know. You just went very big all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I was like...
Okay. On fail of the save, they're all dragged into you're dragged to the center. On success, you're dragged halfway.
Okay.
That way, it bunches up.
That's pretty powerful. I'm good down with it. Okay.
I'm pretty good with it. I think the value that you get from it is you want to bunch people up. You're using your higher spells.
Yeah, you're effectively using 2 spells to get that damage on extra targets. Because one person's this spell isn't dealing damage, so you're pushing everyone into a certain thing. Because like forced movement is powerful, but also a lot of the time in D&D, you're looking at things that are also dealing some form of damage, even if that damage is minimal, and we're not dealing damage with this.
Yeah, I think that's part of why I'm like, maybe we should add an extra effect more than just holding them in place. Like something like hindered or restricted, just so that you're getting the value of not only are they in one space, you've also debuffed them.
You can give it a shot.
I think that value is important.
Hindered is very powerful though.
I mean, it doesn't have to give them a lot of stacks of hindered. It can just give them like 1. It's just a D4 subtracted at this level. You're working with D6s at this point.
Give it a shot.
Okay. How big is the creature it works on? All creatures, baby. Get sucked. Select a point within range and create a well of negative.
Do you think it should be able to pull in gargantuan creatures?
We do have I have been experimenting with weight categories for creatures.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this.
Because it makes sense for some creatures to just be heavier than others, despite size not necessarily being that bit different. What if it works on weight category? One sec. Let me check the race document. No, not that. Proto classes, new races. Stacks playtest character sheet.
Do we think that this can be placed mid-air, or do we think it needs to be placed on the ground to like pull people off cliffs?
I think it can be placed mid-air, but same plane of existence. But same plane of, like, same level. You can't put it higher than yourself unless it's also on the ground, where you're placing it.
Okay, yeah.
And it can't... I don't want people to be putting it like, I put it 10 feet above them and then I drag them and drop them. Because that is... Then we have to deal with Pythagoras theorem. And I want to say
No, we don't, because as we have discussed during flight rules, the geometry of Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop games similar to it is non-Euclidean.
I'll kill you.
And therefore, we work off a grid format in this case.
I'll kill you.
We don't need to use Pythagoras' theorem.
I'm trying to see. Where did I put this? Where did I put the size categories?
This is going back to our first ever argument.
It is. We'd have.
It comes up so often.
Who would have guessed, huh?
We don't talk about flight rules.
Playtest notes? Is it in playtest notes? Tanking felt good and potent. Tanking was useful.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for how I'm just defined the size categories of things. The weight category, I should say.
I see.
Okay, I'm gonna go with what I think. And I think the weight categories are based mostly off of 1 and less is like small creatures. 2 is like medium creatures. 3, large. 4, huge. 5, gargantuan. You can move up weight categories through certain features and stuff. Like the rock people are they're medium, but their weight is 3 because they're fucking rock. Heavy armor brings up your weight category. If you don't have the strength to hold your own weight, you are stuck at that. If you fall on someone and your weight category is really high, if you're a one weight category, you take no fall damage but cannot deal fall damage. Because you're too light for gravity to get you to a velocity where you can break your own bones. If you're a weight category 2, you deal 1d6. If you're weight category 3, you deal 2d6. If you're weight category 4, you deal 3d6. Rockman, perfect timing. It's Komai! Yo, Goobus McGee, also known as Komai, the rock person aficionado. Rockman lore is awesome.
Rockman has very, like, Ludo from the Labyrinth energy. I get that it's not. Because Ludo's friends with the rocks.
Oh yeah. It is kind of, so with the rock person lore, because they can live forever. So that's currently the lore that we have, where they don't die unless they are killed.
This is very 5th season. Okay.
Yeah, and what happens is like rock people are like, why war when you can just wait? And they will die eventually. And a lot of rock people have been around for like since the beginning of the earth. They're like the original people. And so it's like, I've seen villages come and go, people, cultures, they fight. I've outlived all of them though.
This is very 5th season.
My friend's a mountain now. and because sometimes we'll just go to sleep and not wake up. I think races should have base attributes that you then build upon them using a pool of points. So we're sort of doing that. We're sort of doing it like Pathfinder, where you have base attributes and then you can up them. When you guys were making your characters, I just gave you pre-made stuff because I knew that that's how I'd balance the math. You know, carry themselves. Yeah, we don't want rock people to be too heavy that they can't carry themselves. But rock people don't necessarily have armor. Anyway, either way, back to the spell list. I think that the Well of Gravity can affect weight category 2 at start, and maybe you can upscale it to affect higher weight categories.
I like that.
Because that way, that gives you the option to, like, you're targeting a bunch of people. Let's say, like, some of them are on a boat. You don't want to pull the boat, but you do want to pull the people.
Yeah. Let me think.
The Well of Gravity.
The thing is, whenever you do notes and game design, you like to write ideas out from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that is not how my brain works. I just need to sort of brainstorm and get ideas on the page and then go back and write them into a legible structure.
Valid.
So I'm realizing that I'm not doing a very good job of concentrating on what's happening right now. So I just need to do the thing that makes my brain work. Okay. So
maybe allow the gravity well to have lesser weight category for control. I think it should minimum affect weight category 2 and less. I don't think you can affect like less than 2. If that makes sense.
Do you mean more than 2?
Less like I don't if you like I mean like you can't specialize to only target extremely light things.
Oh,
but
I see.
But through upscaling, you can affect heavier and heavier things. What's the
That makes sense.
What's the topic today? More spells.
Choose an origin point you can see with strange, thorny, twisty roots and gnarls of earth become vicious spikes for every 5 feet of space. Okay, where's Gravity Well? Here it is. I kind of want to give this levels.
Yeah. Did I spell cent? Oh, I used the wrong center. My apologies.
I know how hard it is typing in front of an audience too. You're like, I suddenly can't remember how to spell anything, which is why I will not be taking notes in this document in front of an audience. But it is... I physically cannot help myself sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just fix it. I can just see it. It's in front of me. I'll just fix it. Because I kind of like, okay, I think that on your turn, you should be able to spend action points to extend the reach out.
I agree.
From the perimeter to...
I mean, the
also, okay, no, hold on.
What?
You know earlier when you changed perimeter to radius?
Yeah, perimeter is the length of the circle's external. Radius extends its distance. So if you extend the radius by 5 feet...
I wasn't really using it in the mathematics. I was thinking the border, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because the perimeter of something is also still just the edge.
I mean,
even if you're not using it in a mathematical sense. Like, there's a mathematical definition for it. It is what you're talking about. And then there's also just, like, general use. Perimeter also being the boundary.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. We can use radius. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
I used it in the general sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I could feel you welling up to like give me an argument, and I was like,
my brain was like,
it's fine. We're not changing it.
Yeah. Yeah, under upkeep, you can spend an action point and extend the radius by 5 feet. 10 feet?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't thinking of extending the radius so much as like having like an arm shoot out and grab people. Like one person.
Picking specific picking specific people?
Yeah.
Okay, on your upkeep, you can spend an action and attempt and re-drag creatures, or attempt to grab more creatures into the center.
To like, shoot an arm out, I don't know, 40 feet or something, and grab someone new. Up to 40 feet could be good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should leave it as feet.
We can attempt to retranslate it post, but we've been working with feet now for a bit.
Okay.
Use diameter instead of radius too? No. If you extend it by 5 feet, means you extend the entire circle by 10 feet. I'm aware. That makes sense. Because if you're only extending the diameter.
It's going 5 feet on all.
Yeah,
all sides.
if you extend it by only 5 feet, if you're working in a grid-based system, that means that half of your square will get an extra square, and then the other half does not. It doesn't work. You need to extend it all by 5 feet with a radius so that your squares actually bump out.
So. Hey, Zeke.
What up, Zeke? Okay, what if... Okay, so I think upkeep, you can pick any number of targets, drag them towards the center again. And I think upscale, the upscale feature allows you to affect higher weight categories, but the weight categories that were already affected get more hindered. So if you upscale this by 1, you can now attempt to drag weight category 3, but weight category 2s now get 2 stacks of hindered. If you upscale it again, weight category 2s get 3.
I think it just extends their weight category. I don't think that we should be punishing people for choosing... I don't know.
It's not punishing, it's more
Hindered
just...
is powerful.
It's honestly... It is good, it's really strong, but you do have cleanse. And it is upscaling. And we can make the upscale pricey. We can make it whatever we want. The upscale...
No, I don't think it needs to be pricey. I think that it can be like 1 arcane point.
I think it should be at least 2.
Level. I don't think so. And I don't think so just because I think that the only reason... Like, all we're targeting right now is which, like, racial background someone picks at the beginning. Like, which ancestry.
Also, if you wear heavy armor, you get and you're go up a weight category.
I guess it's already a 3rd level spell. I don't know. I just don't think it needs to be expensive to drag.
Okay.
Because then we're making this far more targeted at spellcasters and things. Like, we could always change this later if we need to. But if we're talking about making spellcasters feel good and powerful, nerfing their effectiveness against martials isn't going to help with that, is my thought. Because martials are way more likely to be the ones in heavy armor.
I think if you're up a weight category because of heavy armor, maybe we don't make it... I think we should have an additional thing for giving more hindered, because if you cast your spell and all you do is drag them to the center, that's all you're really doing. Like, you're just pulling them in. You're not doing anything else, and you're not helping your team out maybe as much as you would like to. I think giving an extra effect like hindered that also can be upscaled by casting it higher and higher up, it makes it so that you're helping your team out not just by bunching them, but by debuffing them. And it's only 1 or 2 hindered. That's super easy to cleanse. So
I'm just conscious of power creep because this is a level 3 spell. I think that we could try it.
I said we give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay.
What else do we have?
Bye.
Oh, I never finished Summon Storm.
You can affect.
The Curse of Taxes. I I forgot that was a spell in here.
If you upcast the spell and it increased the weight threshold, could mean that if it affects a heavier creature, it hurts more. Ooh, that could actually be useful because that does specifically target marshals then.
What is it?
So if you upcast the spell and increase the weight threshold, so you've upcast it now, you're now affecting weight category 3, which is standard humanoids in heavy armor. Then they get affected with 2 hinders. With 2 hindered. And then normal casters still only get 1 hindered if they're caught by it.
Okay.
That way, yeah. Every weight category affected above 2 gets additional stacks of hindered on fail. There. Good level 3 control spell. Get affected. We need a level 3. What are some goofy spells? We need silly spells. We need some silly, goofy guy time spells, guys. Maybe a first level spell that swaps everyone's clothes.
Oh, Ryan had like a good idea because I like auras. I like being able to give yourself an aura that gives like passives to your teammates, and then like also potentially debuffs as well to enemies, or like the way that Spirit Shroud works. Because I feel like the only reason Spirit Shroud is unbalanced for 5th edition is because it's kind of the only thing that really does what it does. But being able to, and also Paladins being able to give the aura buff to everything, but building auras into the base mechanics could be kind of cool. Vomit an acidic goo in a 20-foot line.
Guys, we cannot with the goo. We can't. We're done. Goo is. We already have the goo spell. We already have the spook. I said you make it yourself. Even I left that open to interpretation. No more goo.
All I wanted to do was change the word so that it fit thematically with like everything else we're going with. I was fine with the concept, and now we're doubling down on the goo thing. Dear Lord.
I want more. You want more goo? We can't just make
Level 2 is also where you tend to put like enlarge reduce. I think that you should be able to upcast enlarge reduce to increase the effectiveness of size
scaling. I think we should make them even bigger. We can make them
and it can change the weight class. So if you were to change the weight class of someone and then gravity well them.
Yeah, you can make someone big and then gravity well them with a super high cast and hinder them like crazy, dude. Or
I'm sure there are way more effective ways to hinder someone, but that's just kind of goofy.
Or what you can do is you can make one of your friends gigantic, like weight category 5, and then I gave a spell where you can teleport your friends. I haven't put it in here yet, but you can drop them. You can teleport to any point in space. You can teleport them above them and just have them crush the opponents.
Incredible. Should we make... Okay, is it a separate thing to increase and decrease weight categories versus size categories? Or are we bundling this all together in...
I think... Here's my thinking. There are ways to do that. I think if we're making a spell, I think it should do both. I think it should increase weight and size, and decrease weight and size. I don't think it makes sense to increase one without increasing the other if you're doing a spell, because then we have to think about what it means when you make someone giant but they weigh the same, which is like weird.
Yeah.
I think that's a little, that doesn't exist in any sensible way in our brains due to how our brains think about logic. There's no way to magic that away and make it say like, oh, they're supported with magic. It's like,
yeah.
No, yeah. Anyway, I think second level spell, a size increase spell. I like that.
Someone earlier mentioned Stormlight Archive as like a reference point for gravity magic. And you know how in Stormlight, so the Windrunners have, I forget all of the exact names for it off the top of my head, but they've got the one that lets them change the direction of gravity. They've got the one that lets them stick stuff together. And then is there another one? I feel like there's another one. Changing their weight. Wait, no, that's part of changing the direction of gravity, right? With the lashings. Wait a second. Windrunners.
Could you entertain chat? I need to go to the washroom.
I
could go on break too. Do you want to go on break?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's just what powers do Windrunners have? Now I need to remember. Adhesion and gravitation. No, there is two. It's just Kaladin that's special. Naturally. Okay, so I like the idea of being able to make people stick to something, like sticking someone's boots to something. I feel like this could be like a first or second level spell though. I feel like this could be like low level, stick you to this object, kind of becomes very annoying, but is ultimately not that big of a deal. So stick people to objects. So I like that for gravity magic. But I wonder if we do something black hole related. Like, you know how black holes just have insane gravity and so light bends around them, but then also gets all sucked in. I feel like that's a way to take this as well. Like being able to suck all of the light out of a room. This is also kind of why I want to make gravity well have levels, because what if at a higher level it also takes all the light? Like if you upcast it, or if it's been sitting there for long enough, you pull all of the light out of a space. That could be kind of fun. It's also good AoE area control. Echolocation, you become blind but now have echolocation and have advantage on hearing. Ooh. Could be good. That feels, in my head, the same kind of level as, what's it called in D&D? Alter Self. Because Alter Self lets you like breathe underwater and like you can add spikes and stuff. That feels very much along those lines for me. But I don't know where the scaling fits in terms of stacks, because I feel like we have more powerful second level spells than D&D has in terms of the amount that they can do. Like all of the scaling and ratios are off. So then does that become like a first level spell? Which I'm not against, especially because there's a very clear like cost to it, becoming blind. But it's not bad. It's not a bad idea. I like it. I do like it. My problem with Alter Self is that I can't use spellcasting mode for attack. What do you mean? Oh, like you can't use your spellcasting modifier for attack rolls after you've added the spikes and stuff. Yeah, I get that. It feels like, because then that means the spike thing isn't worth it and no one ever uses it. No, I get that. I think that's fair. I feel like that's the kind of thing that was just like left out because of oversight, pretty much. Black hole, 15-foot circle. All creatures within 5 of the center, 5 feet of the center, become blind and take 3d8 force, and gain a 1 weight category. All creatures are pulled the center on a failed save. Ooh, in 1 weight category. That kind of makes sense, I guess, because of the way that gravity works. So if you're near intense gravity, and I kind of like this. I like the idea that gravity magic is affecting weight categories to deal more like fall and force damage. That's a cool concept. And that works super well. I feel like there's more to be done with that, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But I for sure like the black hole concept. I also think being able to switch off gravity would be so fun. Switch off gravity. I'm also going to make a note about the gaining weight levels.
I am here.
No. Oh my gosh, we were doing like perfectly good work.
I was shitting. I'm glad you got some good work done.
Okay, so while you were gone,
Yeah.
I had an idea that we should like incorporate black holes somehow if we're doing gravity magic, and initially I was thinking that we tie this into Gravity Well, because you know how I was talking about how I kind of want to make Gravity Well a leveled spell that like develops over time, but then I don't know how to pronounce this. A1RZ, that person, came up with an idea that we make black hole its own spell, 15-foot circle.
Agree.
All creatures within 5 feet of the center become blind and take 3d8 force damage and gain 1 weight category. I like this. I like the idea of linking gravity magic to increasing and decreasing weight categories. Because then I was thinking if we have a spell that switches off gravity within a certain area, that could be good. Because that also impacts maneuverability within that area.
I do like it. A black hole, I think, should be more destructive than what
That's
it currently is.
fair. We can have like a little one and then we can have a big one. We can have like a baby
Yeah,
one.
we can have like a we can make it as something else. Like,
I think, okay, so, because we could have, if we wanted to add an additional effect, we wanted to add levels to Gravity Well, for example, what we could do is have one of the later levels be like that it like starts sucking in light, and then it blackens the area, and you know, you have that effectively the darkness spell effect as well after a round or two. We can then make Black Hole a high level spell, like level 8 or something.
or we could make another third level gravity spell, call it like Dark Matter, because that also hits the naming conventions, and just make it a separate spell. Because Gravity Well is doing this debuffing thing that it's got going on, this debuffing and maneuvering thing. Black Hole, I think, is doing this other thing, and what we could make 2 spells, I don't want to bundle into 1 spell willy-nilly, you know?
It's hardly willy-nilly. It's with thought and care.
Fair enough. My apologies. Wrong word. Anyway. Dark
I need a
Matter.
name for a spell that switches off gravity. We call it like anti-gravity or something, but
Yeah. I have made a little thing for Dark Matter if you want to work on that. I'm busy working on Manipulate Mass right now.
do I have to type in the thing?
Don't worry, no one will see it. No one will see it. And then as soon as I let you know, you can leave, and I can finish it out so I can type it. All good.
I was just planning on writing it in my notebook.
Damn, that's crazy.
So this is the spell that, wait, I'm just adding the spell that was we just talked about?
Dark matter
In
is
chat?
dark matter is the spell that you were talking about, where it's a 15-foot circle. Creatures are blind,
Okay.
and they gain a weight category. Feel free
Okay,
to.
okay.
I feel like if you dealing damage is fine. I feel like you should maybe deal a bit more than 3d8, maybe like 4d8, or
Yeah.
4d12. Thing's got a lot of hit points in this game, so like I think 4d12 makes sense.
Why are there so many dice? I am a little concerned about the numbers.
The hit points thing is-
has
The hit points is
Flatten
concerning
back.
me a bit. I think that I'm keeping my eye on it. Let me
Okay.
let me check. Cuz like at level 3 a level 3 character had 97 hit points.
Hmm?
And like the other level 3 character had like 30 hit points. So I think this is a
See, that seems like too much disparity.
I agree. I think we need to look at how we're doing hit points again slightly. I want to aim for maybe like the disparity be more like 50 to 100. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
To be in all fairness though, this person with 30 did dump fortitude against my advisement. But yeah, people are gonna do that, and I don't want them to be punished that hard.
Constitution. I was talking to our friend Jenny the other day about how she consistently, in my game specifically, dumps Constitution, and how in my games specifically, dumping Constitution is the craziest thing to do. Like, it is the stat that I call for the most saves. Undoubtedly, it has the most tied to it. Like, it is not a stat you ever want to dump in my games. She does it consistently, and then she wonders why her character died. So basically, don't ever dump Fortitude, don't ever dump Constitution. Time, it costs 2 action points. I have a baby who wants a lot of attention right now. Also, Bloodborne arrived yesterday, but I haven't started playing it because I went to set up my PlayStation and realized that the TV that's in like the other living area doesn't have a cord to like connect it to a power source, and I was like, well, okay, this is a discovery. So now I need to move it into the main living area.
Couldn't you set it up in your room and connect it to your monitor?
Oh, I guess I could.
Yeah, why not do that?
I don't know if I have the desk space. I might be able to.
You can put it on your
Give
floor.
this a shot.
Yeah, give it a try.
That's true. I'll put it under my desk or something. I'll put it and then I'll connect it to that screen. And then I'll use my little thing that you and Danny convinced me to get so that I can stream it specifically to you guys
Yeah.
in Discord calls while I'm playing, and you can watch my struggles. Cost. It
Unfailing.
costs
Decrease the creature's weight and
3
size
arcane points.
by 1. Anything of physics. What if dark matter decreased HP max? HP max we are preserving. HP manipulation is something we're preserving for this this other third thing of casting called essence, which is more like ghosts, spirits, the ethereal, that sort of manipulation. Magic is magic. I think that's pretty easy to conceptualize. And then there's nerve, which is the marshals. I don't want to say it's different than casting, but it's their own sort of list of abilities that they can access. Throw. Target gets force shoved 60 feet in any direction. If they collide with something, they and the object they collide with take damage somehow or stacks. That could be interesting. Take damage equal to their size category? And then you can... It's like a 1d8 per size category of the creature, and then you can upcast it to increase its damage by another d8. So it's really good on heavy things, but it's meh on weak things. Or you could shove a heavy thing into a small thing and deal fuckloads. That could be funny. Creature's weight and size category by 1.
She's being so cuddly right now. Look at her.
Is that Ori is the cuddly one, right?
I need you to learn the difference between my cats because this is getting embarrassing.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't fucking know.
Everyone else has figured it out. I just think that at this point, you have seen them more than most people.
Right. I'm sorry. I've got cat face blindness, okay?
Amelia had them figured out within like a day of being here, like fully figured out. My housemates also figured it out within like a day of living in the same space as them. I'm just saying. You who has seen them so many times, like.
Sorry. Gravity Rush. Accelerate yourself forward at extreme speed at a single target within 30 to 60 feet. Force damage equal to the falling damage of your weight, class, plus stacks of acceleration. That could be funny. That could be cool. We could do like some time magic stuff too. Make Chronergy more standard.
Rewind. Yeah. Rewind. Spell. Oh, rewind. How about a bonus action spell that called Rewind that you cast that basically undoes your last action? So it costs a bonus action, you get 2 action points back, and the spell slot or the nerve points or whatever. So it's effectively, this spell didn't work, this thing that I just tried. My Hail Mary did not work for whatever reason. I need to now undo that. And maybe upcasting it increases the level of the thing that you can rewind. Still spending resources.
Okay. Let me talk through why my brain is like no printer right now. No response right now. Because my brain is going, okay, in order for this to have value, the return needs to be higher than the cost.
Yes.
But then you could spend 2, spend 1, so now you've only spent 1. Spend 2 again, spend 1 again, now you've only spent 1. Spend 2, spend 1, now you've only spent 1 again. Spend 2, spend 1, now you've only spent 1 again.
Maybe it has like a once per turn limit.
Okay. Spend that 1. What if we make it a 1 action point trigger ability that only works if whatever you were doing failed?
I disagree with that. Well, okay. I think my gut reaction is to disagree with that because I think that if you pour like your big spell into something and then find out in pouring your big spell into the thing that the enemy is immune to all damage of that type or whatever, you want to claw back that spell slot, you want to claw back that thing, and you're like, I need to be able to do something equally as big, but I just use my resources, like I need my resources back. So I'm unfortunately gonna have to spend more resources in order to get the big resources back, right? Well, okay, no, but it's not like D&D because we're not using spell slots.
In that scenario, you get your shit back. Sorry.
I'm talking through the issue, not arguing with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off because I realized it sounded like I was just like, I'm talking. I'm not. I was trying to say I'm not arguing with you. I'm talking through my thought process. Because then I still like it. I like having that option.
I like it. I think it should just be something that if whatever you were doing failed, you can try again. So if they succeed on the save and nothing happens, failed. If you miss, if they're immune, you can then do a reaction, get it back, try again, something else.
I think that...
Because what I don't want is someone just using it to double up on their actions over and over again. You know, just being like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to use it again, and then I'm gonna do this.
If it hold on, sorry, I need to clarify. If it succeeded, the effect would be clawed back as well.
Okay.
The reason why I'm hesitating here then is then that becomes a lot of bookkeeping to like rewind. But
yeah, that's why I think it should only be on like a fail, on like the thing succeeded, because then there's no resource expenditure on either end really. It's just like, okay, do over. Or maybe we just make that an ability, because that's kind of strong, you know?
I think the reason why I don't want to agree to making it, I just think there are so many situational things where it being only on fail is going to take a lot of fun out of the moment of being able to claw it back. Because I think something technically succeeding but not working, so like succeeding in that you hit the monster with your big attack, but it's immune to all of the damage.
That's what I mean.
That's not a fail, that's a success.
That's what I mean by fail, though. I'm using it more of a broad term. Sorry. I mean, like if whatever you did had no effect.
Yeah. Okay. Then we need to define that, because it is not a fail. Because yeah. That's what I don't want.
Okay.
That's what I want it to be useful for as well. Like I don't want this to be something that.
You could use a spell if whatever the last action you took had absolutely no effect on the battlefield. No stacks were added, no damage dealt. The most that happened is you learned that whatever you did does not work. Like, no damage dealt, no terrain created, nothing. And then can also be used when you fail an attack roll or a creature succeeds on a saving throw. Okay. But how goes dark matter? Is it getting written? I finished manipulate mass. Here it is. You got 2 action points, 2 arcane, 100.
I just need you to know that like the more you read out loud, the slower this becomes for me to be able to type.
I mean, I said I would get to it if you wanted to tag out.
Okay, that's fair. I just mean to say that I cannot listen and type at the same time.
Want to tag out?
You can read your thing if you want.
Okay. All right. Manipulate mass. Choose a target within the range and force them to make a fortitude save. They can choose to fail. On fail, you can increase or decrease the creature's weight and size category by 1. On success, nothing happens. Upscale. 1 arcane. You can increase or decrease the weight and size by an extra point per upscale to a minimum of size and weight category 1. Okay. Now to dark. Okay. Got liquid stone. Manipulate mass.
What was it? It was...
Dark matter? You deal
12 force damage. Plus, were you blinded?
You're blinded, yes.
I think that blinded is a passive effect. If you're in the area, you're blinded.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you can see through magical darkness.
Unless you can see through the darkness.
Area, yeah. Unless you see through magical darkness, you must make a fortitude save. Throw or take. Okay. Was there anything else that was that? Oh, and the size, the weight class thing.
Yeah, what about it? What up? Oh yeah, it increases your weight
Additionally,
category.
weight category is increased by 1.
And you know what's super cool? If they don't have the strength to carry that weight category, then their speed is reduced as well.
Oh.
So that could be super useful to lock down an area when you upscale it.
That's pretty cool. I do like that.
Yeah.
That also gives strength more value.
Yeah. It does. I think
Which is good, because currently...
Strength has a lot of value in that the classes that utilize it are strong, but we have to make sure that the stat itself is valuable in other ways. You could be a very high strength rock person, gravity caster, and keep pebbles you've increased the weight of in a bag. Hell yeah, dude. Be like heavy rock. Hold this pebble.
The weight category is increased by 1 while they're in the affected area?
While they're in the area, yes. And then once they leave the area, their weight category goes back up.
Yeah, cool.
I want to make a level 2 gravity spell that's one of like the Komai's throw spell, where like you pick an object and then you chuck it at a target.
Very Stormlight Archives. Okay, so what are you thinking?
I'm thinking like its base effect is it deals you can choose an object of weight category size 2 or lower, choose an object or creature, launch them at another creature or object. They deal if they deal 1d8 per size category. Upscaling it allows you to affect higher size categories. So you can target like a size category 5 thing, launch it. It does like 5d8 or something. I reckon Gravity Cast should be able to Ritual Cast or enchant objects to make them heavier or lighter. Dude, Gravity Wizard, their abilities is that they can change the weight categories. That could be sick. I kind of like that. Maybe it does 3D, second level, 2D. What if it does like 2d8 per size category? And it's 10d8 if you're picking a 5 target. I think that I like that. I like that more.
There are a lot of mechanics.
I like it. Time. I have a pseudo character sheet made that's just like the raw stats of classes made already in our folder. If you look at the stream or in our call, you can see it right here. Like
I can see it in the call, but it's very small.
Yeah.
I'll look at the stream.
Yeah. And like so let me just increase. Nope, don't click on chat. See? Like it's got the scores, strength 8, then it's got the modifier 4, agility 2, modifier 1, fortitude. It's got the resistance values underneath it. Health, that. Hit dice average size 6.5 because they're D12s.
0.5.
It's just the hit dice average size because they have a D12 hit dice.
Okay.
And I just needed the value here so I could give this, and like this is actually like a 98, but I just.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you would have just rounded up, but that.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the rounding. Actually, can I just? Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Can you just type it in?
No, I didn't. I made equations.
Oh,
I made Excel equations, and then we have the dice ranks, which are lower here. Dice rank is determines this. So this is the secondary dice average size. So like, this is like all of the, and then like I guess now we have like the weight category. This rock person is a 3, and then they're wearing heavy armor, so there are 4. So it's like these are the numbers that make up the stat sheet. This is all of them. Like, if we go to health is determined by E7, which is this number. D4, which is this number, the modifier. And then B1, which is their level. You just take their fortitude, you multiply it by their dice average size, and then you multiply that again by their level.
The problem I'm having at the moment is I'm watching the stream, which is delayed. Okay. So you're giving information, but the thing is that I believe you. I believe that, like, we can go over it later when.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's too many mechanics. That's all. I think we're actually in a good spot as far as mechanics goes, because we just need as many mechanics as to be useful.
Oh, were you defending that? Oh,
I was trying to give you confidence that we actually don't have too many mechanics.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I thought this was you were showing me for another. Okay. It's fine. No, if we have too many mechanics, we can balance it at a later date. I will deal with it when we come up. I flag balancing issues as they come up. I get that you have told your audience that balancing isn't fun and don't think about it. Listen. I don't care what your audience's opinions are about how that works. My brain works how it works. I'm gonna handle it how I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna flag it in the moment, and I see it, because it does not benefit us to make me not work the way that I just work.
Yeah.
I'm also just not gonna default agree with your opinions because they're yours.
You should.
I absolutely will not be doing this. Will also not be changing my processes. Okay. What I really, do you know the space that I like designing in is like this mid-range of like 4th, 5th, 3rd.
Go for it.
Because I think that spells get super interesting in these spots. I don't know. I want more levels, more leveling things.
Huh? What do you mean by more?
I want more leveling spells, like spells that level.
Oh, you mean upscale?
The longer you leave them, that like no. I mean
the upkeep
spells
the upkeep.
with yeah.
Upkeep spells. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think what I need right now is to just brainstorm ideas for what effect spells could have without sitting there and writing them, if that makes sense.
Go for it. I'm just gonna keep on. I'm gonna go and just make shit. I'm just gonna go and make things that I think are silly and goofy and make them how I think they work and are silly and goofy. That's what I think. That's my plan. Creature within the target range. The target deals the pick object is then flung at the target. The pick, this is worded like shit. Pick entity is then flung at the target at incredulous speed. Make a spell attack roll at the target. On hit, the target receives 2 times the damage equal to the weight category.
Wait, what's the pick range and what's the target range?
Okay, so I have bad terms right now, but pick is like choose an object within 30 feet. Let's say I'm in my room right now. I choose this can. I've got 30 feet range for which I can pick an object. Once I've picked something, I then fling it at a target 100 feet away. That's the target range. So you pick something within 30, fling it 100.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's equal to the weight category.
I feel like we could, okay, so I think that we could word this by just saying choose a target within range. And then going on to word it as you can then throw it up to 100 feet. Choose a target, like, at a target.
So how would we make this in this case? The range of the spell.
So choose a target within range.
No, I'm focusing on this range section because it says like the range of the spell.
I would leave it as 30 feet.
And
then just in the spell clarify that you can throw it up to 100 feet. Like you can at a target. Up to 100 feet. Or you could say 30 to 100 feet. But I think that that's more confusing because then I think you're so here's the thing. When you're delivering information, you want to keep terms consistent and not like over muddle what's sort of happening with like terminology and that kind of thing. So range thus far has meant a certain thing. This is an interesting spell in that it has 2 different ranges, which is kind of an anomaly in and of itself. And like maybe that's something that we look at and we just make it.
Yeah.
It has to sort of be.
I'm just gonna leave it at 30.
Maybe we just make it 100 feet and you just leave it and you just keep it all within the same thing. Or
I'm gonna make it 30/100 for now, and then just like dictate the order of operations in the description. Like choose a target within 30 feet. The target
okay, okay, that works. Yeah, because then, yeah.
Okay.
I just was concerned about introducing new terms because I think that just.
They are then flung at a second target within 100 feet at incredulous speed. Both targets. Incredulous. It's almost silly how fast they're going.
Okay.
Both targets are dealt damage equal to 2d8 equal to a number of d8s equal to 2 times the weight category in d8s. Equal to the 2 times the first target's weight category in d8s. Wait, I'm just putting this here for clarification because I think we're gonna need to reword this. So I'm just gonna leave something here. 2 equals 4d8. Wait, you can only affect weight category size 2 things. target two within 30 feet. Target's a creature that must make a fortitude save. Identify a target within 100 feet. Because both targets are dealt damage equal to 2 times the first target's weight category in D8s. Upscale. Increase 1 arcane. Increase the weight category you can initially target and throw. Damage increases accordingly. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Both targets are dealt damage equal to 2 times the first target's weight category in D8s.
This is a level 2 spell.
Yeah, 48 for a standard. Upscaling gets it to 68. Upscaling it again gets 8d8. Upscaling again gets 10d8.
I think it just feels very similar to, like, it's not the same, but similar enough to telekinesis, which is like a 7th level spell or something.
Telekinesis is 5th level. Is it 5th level? Is that
So that you're right.
valid?
Whatever. Even so, it's a 5th level spell. This is now sitting at 2nd level. This might not be the place for this.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a flag.
Yeah, the ability is
Hate it when you're right.
the effect is strong. The damage isn't. Maybe we can increase its damage and move it.
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah, within 30 feet. But you know, it has been 2 hours, and that was my goal for tonight. So I think that's it for us. Yeah, sound good? Cool. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been welcome to what it's like designing shit. Lots of discussion and thinking. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been Offbeat Outlaw. Thank you to the 2 first members of the YouTube. Please support me in those ways, as well as joining the Patreon if you want. You can play the PP game, the PP game changes if you want. They're up there on the Patreon. And Brooke, outro yourself in whatever way you think seems appropriate.
You don't have to do anything about my presence. Go subscribe to Offbeat's Patreon. Or YouTube channel.
You can. Wait, someone said telekinesis doesn't deal damage? What?
I'm sure if you slam people into stuff, it's probably...
You can move creatures upwards and then drop them. That deals
I'll
damage.
take full damage.
Yeah.